Good morning, traders. Welcome to daily webinar. If you were planning to come back this week, I'll probably be here all week. So please join in. The trading room would be active and we'll go from there. For my YouTube view, by the way, we might put this out on YouTube. So to my YouTube viewers, sorry for last week. I wasn't around. I'm on vacation, actually. We will try to give you this recording. Hope it helps you. There was a lot of messages from those guys asking what happened last week. I hope you enjoy it, and I hope this helps you in your trading. I hope that from now we can actually get all the sessions going because I'll be around and we'll get it for you. I would probably do a week of free. I'm still planning a week free one. A few people ask me about it, but because I'm on vacation, it's not possible. And I'm in vacation in Moscow, so internet issues is where here, not the internet issues, connection issues. So let's see. I'll try my best. I'll let you guys know sometime this week if I can do it next week. It means you'll have a London and a New York session free. We'll try to make it free for everyone. There's a few people who are asking me how they can join the installment programs and how they can join the group. Have some patience. I'm not accepting anybody at the moment because I'm on vacation. So when I'm back and everything is normal, we'll let you know how you can do that. That said, let's start. Dollar index. Yep, nothing much happened. It's still going sideways, right? I think last week we've already made that first impulse and we're going sideways, which is good in that it gives you a sense of the direction you can expect. As long as the consolidation stays in the first half of this, in the top half of the impulse, right? We can expect it to go more. But since it's consolidating so much, you can also expect that this consolidation might stay here for a very long time. The longer it stays and the deeper it comes into this, the more it will be more downside. The faster it goes out of here and the shallower it is, which means if it doesn't come back deep into the impulse, the higher the probability to the upside. So if you're a wave analysis trader, when you're with that dilemma that it could go both ways, what you would do is you'd go to the higher time frame and you would look at where the probability of where that could go more, right? Like what patterns do you have on the 4 hour? Which direction you're more expecting it to go? And then you're thinking, well, if we have this and we have this, there's a higher probability it can go this way. So that is good. If the probability for it to go up is a higher probability and you have a flag forming here, then this is the direction you'd expect it to go. Well, here's the thing. If you're expecting it to go that way, and let's assume this happens. See this piece here? We were expecting this to go up, and then that happened. So let's say exactly the same thing happened and you get a move up to the top there. It means you should get that trade. It's that simple, right? If that's your forecast and that happens, then you must get the trade, because if you don't get the trade, you might as well don't trade because you're wasting your time. You make the perfect forecast and it happened the way you wanted it. So if that happens, you get the trade. If it doesn't do that, but instead it spend the next week, which means this entire week coming back to the bottom here, even breaking the low, and you don't get any trade, it's okay. You don't have to kill yourself. That was not your forecast. Your forecast was upside. It happened. You get the trade. It goes down, no big deal. I can guarantee you there's a rare chance it's not going to do it. I can almost guarantee you that's not going to happen. You're looking at the pattern and that's rare. If it is going to drop from here, most likely if it is going to drop because of this consolidation that's happening here, it will have to come to the bottom here, go back to the top there. And if we see this by the end of the week, well, then I think it's easy, right? If you see this by the end of the week, expect it to make one more down, at least one more down to here. That means you come at the top there and you try to get that trade to the downside. See? That's what wave analysis is about. And if you get that and it happens the way you want it to happen, then great. And the reason I'm doing this here is because at least two people ask me, can wave analysis make me a successful trader? Two people who wanted to join the group, right? They wanted to join and they wrote me messages in different ways, but they mean the exact thing. Can I use this to become a successful trader? And my answer to that is always, I don't know. I really don't know if you can become a successful trader, even if I show you every single trade that you should take. It doesn't mean you're going to take them. It doesn't mean you're going to implement them correctly. It doesn't mean you're going to close them when I tell you to close them. It doesn't mean you're not going to mess with them when I tell you not to mess with them. Because we've had that case where we identify a trade exactly with the entry and the stop and everything, and there are 20 traders in the room and only 3 people take the trade. So can we make you a successful trader? It's up to you to become a successful trader. I can show you how to analyze the charts. I can show you how to take the trade. I can show you the strategies you'll use. You might even create your own strategies. We have traders in here using different strategies that are really, really successful. But you would have to be able to follow the method. You will have to be able to implement it correctly. You have to have the experience. You will have to be able to click a trade, and don't panic when the trade is going slightly against you. There's so much more to it that you would have to do. You would have to practice. It's like somebody showing you a video and, hey, this is how football is played, right? This is what the ball is going to do. This is how you're going to kick it. This is how you're going to spin the ball. This is how you're going to get it into the goal. And then they said, okay, go in the field now. You've watched a few videos. You know what to do. Go. You're going to play for the World Cup. Not going to happen, right? I think you get the analogy that we can't promise you're going to be a successful trader. I can't do that. I've never tell any person that I'll make them a successful trader. But I've always said we have a lot of successful traders coming from this group. Quite a lot of them. If you want to know how many successful traders come out from this group that without me telling you, Google wave analysis. Go on YouTube, type wave analysis. Anything that pops up under wave analysis came from here. And I don't mean Elliott wave. I mean wave analysis. A lot of Elliott waivers have changed to wave analysis. That's because I changed the way you look at waves and the way you would take advantage of it without counting 1, 2, 3 the whole day from now to the rest of your, for the next 10 years, 1, 2, 3, ABC. You don't have to do that. It's not that you shouldn't do, but you don't need to do that to make success. You need to understand what patterns are forming. So I hope that answered the question whether you can become a successful trader if you learn this stuff. I don't know. But I can guarantee you that people who learn this stuff have become successful traders. Now, can you do it? Your call. How much dedication you're going to put into it? Your call, right? So that should answer the question to the 2 people at least who send me that message. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to look for a buy setup. We don't trade the 4 hours. We don't even trade sometimes the 1 hour. You try to get it on the 15, right? If it's you're trading the 1 hours, if you get a simple impulse that is about 20 pips, and you get a flag here, then you stick to the 1 hour. If you have a bigger correction forming with a deeper impulse into it, like this impulse is already 92 pips. So if you have a 92 pips impulse and you're getting a correction that's coming back to about half of that, which is about, let's say, I don't know, 40 something pips, 46 pips, then there's a chance you can get a flag before you get to the top. And then you can go to the 15 minutes and do that. If there's no chance to do that, then stick to the 1 hour and trade. It's okay. We are trying to get to the top here. That's the trade. It's not really the smaller trade. So it all depends on your skill level and what time frame you can trade. I would say wait for this to come and break the low here and go into 15 and get a trade inside here. So you want it to come back and retest this low. Why retest this low? Because you can see these are likely going to come back here. This is the first move down into that. And if we take this as the correction to the upside, there's a chance it's going to, if it's not coming back to break the low, then you would want it to break out of this, make a flag here, and then try to get this to retest this stop. And when it retests that top, go for positive, break even. And if this is the one that takes off, good for you. Now, what I just drew there, if you know anything about wave analysis, you would understand why I draw this line and this line, because there's a possibility it will just go here and then come back down again. See? So understanding the patterns is what we're going to teach you in here, how to understand every pattern and how it develops and how you can take advantage of it. And if it doesn't go your way, what you're going to do to get out of it. So I would say let's look for a buy setup, but I probably wouldn't buy this here as yet because we didn't break the low. When the low is not broken in the first impulse, what you're thinking is you're still in that correction. Contracting flats exist, they're rare. So I wouldn't be surprised if this actually comes back here and then you get the buy setup. Now, if you're going to buy this to go, you got to watch it that you want it to break out of this last impulse. You want it to go back above there, then give you a flag here. Because this flag would either come back to this stop here, or it's going to break out totally. And this is where you can take that trade for a possible break, even if it doesn't go. And if it goes good, you get the trade. That's the trade you're looking for. So I would say let's look for a buy setup on the dollar index. Silver, we're looking for a buy setup. Those were short-term buy setups to break out of this to go. Break out of this and go. I don't know how you take the trade, but possibly you could have, the first trade would probably be a break even. You could have taken this and taken some profit out of it once you break that up. Now it's looking downside, right? We were buying the correction. We weren't buying this to go. We were buying the correction of this impulse. So that turned out to be good if you traded it well. Now you're thinking, okay, now that we broke out of this, I'll take that out. We don't need it. We're still in this correction here. And that means downside. If any one of the traders took this trade, then you will take it to come and do something like this. And there's a very good chance that this is going to go up one more, because this might be a flat for one more up. Just like we were looking at this flat here, right? For one more up. And then you got a bigger flat here, and then you got another one here. So this could come here and go one more up, and then you look for a sell setup from there coming down. Can this go really sharp? Maybe. Would you want to buy this to see how far that goes? You could. We try to buy this one. So you might as well try to buy this one if you can buy it. But you have to be aware that that one might not go because you're trading the correction. Right? If you understand that you're trading the correction upwards, then great. I think the bigger picture is downside, which means if you get a sell setup, take it. Can you take this sell setup and get out of it should it not go? Well, you should be in that one already. If you're going to trade this, you should probably be in it already. And by the time it gets to this low here, you got to get it to positive. I doubt this is the one that is going to drop because this correction came back to the top there. So I'm thinking this is making a flat for one more up. All right. See, this is how you have to analyze it. Understand each patterns within the patterns and how they form and which pattern you can trade. If you're going to trade this pattern, most of my traders will probably go to the 5 minutes to trade this pattern. Right? Because you're trading inside of the correction. If you don't want to trade that, then just let it come. Let it come to the bottom here, go back up, and then look for the sell. And the sell would be something like this. Come here, go back there, give you a drop, give you a flag. Not back to the top of the impulse, but like this would be the impulse. Let it stay at the bottom part of the impulse and go for that one. Like this was a sell we actually took. Because we were looking for this to come here, come back to the bottom here, then go back up. See? So these are trades you would look for. Now that this was the first correction, you know that would go back up. This is a good correction. It could actually drop. But I don't think it's this one. If you think this is the one that's going to drop and you don't want to miss it, then you can do one of the two things. You can put an entry order here, or you can wait for it to come to the bottom here and make another flag. And the second flag now would become a sell setup. Or if you're trading the 1 hour, go to the 1 hour and trade this. This is a good 1 hour trade. Nothing is wrong with that because you're expecting an impulse down like this and maybe even a bigger one, right? So the question would come now, is this a big flat? Is this a big flat for a lot more downside? Or is it just going to make one drop like this and then go back up? Okay, that possibility exists. We do have a huge flat at the top here. And every time you get a big flat like that at the top, you're probably still in correction. So this might just drop one more here and then go back up. So you see how the analysis come now. You've got to look at the higher time frame to see whether there's a big move to the downside. Sorry, I wanted to go one higher. Let me go here. So if you're looking at it from this daily point of view, right? Can this one drop to the bottom here? It can. Remember, this is the top. This is a huge flat here, right? There's a huge flat at the top there, but nobody says that because you have a huge flat there, it can drop. We did break this top. So this could be the absolute top from that structure coming down. Or it could still be a flat. Because of the big flat there, this might be 1, 2, 3, and then go back up one more. So the sell here is a must. You will take it. You will take it from inside the correction going down. So by the time it breaks the bottom of the correction, you're already in profit. And then you can just move your stop. So, if it keeps dropping, good for you. Gold. Gold was a buy also. And it was this buy here to go. Well, it's mostly correcting this one. I didn't think they were going to take off. We weren't expecting them to take off and go back to the top because I'm expecting it to come at least one more here and then go. Right? So this pattern we drew last week, I can't remember if it was after the webinar, but I didn't do a webinar, so there was no webinar yet. Sorry. We drew this last week. You're looking at this two ways, right? Either it's a possible running flat for upside or it's a channel for downside. The way I look at it, it looks more like a channel for downside. And the reason for that is because these looks corrective, these are impulsive. This looks corrective, this looks more impulsive. So this looks like a channel that eventually breaks to the downside. So if you get a sell set up here, take it. This was a sell. Look for a sell set up here to come here. And when you get here, watch to see if we break out of that structure. If it goes back up, great. That would be a good buy. So as it comes here, can it go up from this point? I don't think so because you have a 1, 2, 3, but I don't think it's going to go up from that point. We do have some divergence. That doesn't mean anything much. This can still drop and that divergence will go away. Or it drop and you get more divergence, that will confirm more upside, one more upside at least. So let's see, if you take a sell setup from there, that's good. There is a sell setup there. If any one of you sold it this morning, you could have actually sold this one. You would sell this one. If you're selling this one, you would sell this one to come back to about here and then go back up. If you're selling this one, the same thing, because now you're starting to look more like a flag here. So the more flags it make inside of this impulse, the more it's a correction for one more up at least. So you might even get a buy setup here. This was the buy. We were buying this flat to go up. I think you would have got two buys. This was another buy. I wasn't in the room last week very much. So this could have been another buy here. These are sell setups, but remember, you're correcting just like this correction, right? You're correcting this one for downside. So if you're selling, you have two flags here you could sell. The first one, that could have been a break even or a very small profit. There's a second one here forming. This one is not going as aggressive as you would expected, but once it breaks the low, you can try to see if you get it to break even and then leave it. In the bigger picture, this is starting to look like they're trying to correct for upside. There's too many flags in this impulse, right? This is the up impulse, and they're one flag, two flag, and if this one is not even dropping, this one is coming like this, and it could make another flag and drop again. That means this will eventually go up. The more flags you get here, the higher probabilities you're going to go. But sell it and see. So if they drop suddenly, well, good for you. So the immediate trade is a sell setup, but with a lot of caution in it. Euro, I think this is easy. Looks like this one is going to go up one more, probably like that. And then we look for the sell setup. I want them to break this stop and then look for the sell. If you can buy these small moves, then good for you. Nothing is wrong with that. We were actually expecting to buy this. That would have been a break-even trade. All right, we were trying to buy this. We were trying to buy this one. I think this one we did close for break-even because it started to pull back. And when it goes, take the break-even. We took the sell here and then we took the buy, both of them. We took the sell, we closed the sell for break-even. You would have, if you were in the buy, that's okay. This is a sell setup. I think you can look at that as a flat flag correction for downside. Take this out. That's the low. You can put an entry here if you want, but not a great idea because we didn't break that top as yet. So you want this to come here. You want this to come back here and then go break the top. And when we break that top, look for a sell setup. This sell setup is an easier trade. I would not buy this into here because you can see they're not trying to make a spike to the upside. So if you get a flag under here is a sell. Should this drop beyond this point and make a flag here, sell the flag and take this out. But if it drops suddenly, well, you can put an entry here. Right? That is assuming that it's going to drop suddenly. So all these are sell setup. Pung, I think this is an easy one too. You can put it under the low. There was a small buy there. That would have been a break-even trade. I mean, the 1 hour you had about 4 hours there to close the trade, and the 15 you have this. There was this, I don't know if you would get a 15-minute sell, you would have to put it here, but better to put a sell under the low or wait for a flag. Put a sell here or wait for a flag for the sell. Where would this take us? Well, I think we're going for the downside, right? We're going for the bigger downside. So the first, we have two possibilities here. The first one would be this move down, and then one more up. And the second one, well, it just dropped through the bottom. That this is a correction of its own. So once this drop here, expect a pullback. If you're in the trade, right, now that you're trading these flags to the downside, at any time, move your stop to break even because you can expect to see this one make a deep pullback there. You can expect some kind of a pullback here and then come here. So expect some kind of a flag, flat, something of a bigger degree, higher degree than those smaller ones. But go for the sell. It's a good sell setup, actually. We don't know how far it's going to drop before you get a pullback. Aussie. I think Aussie was the surprise, Aussie in New Zealand, because I was expecting them to break this top before they start dropping. I was looking for more like a regular flat and not a contracting flat. Looks like we might get a contracting flat. I think we'll have to go with a contracting flat. So if you get some kind of a correction here, which you're starting to make already in the daily, you might get a daily or 4-hour correction. We'll expect them to come here and then go back up. Because we still haven't got this one. And I don't think we have that. We can make an argument whether we want to put this together and then this as a 1, 2, 3 instead of a contracting flat. That would not change the bigger pattern or change the smaller patterns. Or you can go with a contracting flat and it comes to the bottom here. So what is, on the 1 hour, just look for a sell setup now. You don't have any sell setup though. You have this consolidation here now. kind of get a sharp one, a pullback, a sharp one, a pullback. You have a running flat in here. And we did break the top, but I don't think this is going to drop. If that is the one dropping, you might get more correction in here. I think there's a higher probability for more correction. We also have to correct this entire impulse, right? So there'll probably be a bigger correction forming here, not ready for the downside. But if you think it's ready for the downside, then what you need to do is, because this impulse is so small, right, compared to this one, if we go with running flat, and this impulse is small, so you want this impulse to drop beyond this point, and that's beyond the impulse itself, and then make a flag here, you sell that flag. If not, you can put an entry under the low. That's another option. But I'm expecting it to consolidate more, which means I think this thing could end up in more of this before we drop. We don't have a buy setup. There's no buy setup here you can take. New Zealand, I think this is an easy sell. New Zealand has at least one more drop to go with, and that is breaking this low. Let's go back to the daily. Yep. Again, New Zealand might be the same thing. I was expecting this to come here. We were looking at this as the 1, 2, 3. We might go back with this one. So if you take this out now and you take this out, we might go back with this one here as the running flat. So we were expecting this to be the running flat, 1, 2, 3, and then come. But since this one is dropping so much, you can go back. The first running flat we had was this one, but then we changed it after we got this. So this might be 1, 2, 3 there. This might be 1, 2, 3. Come back here, break this low, right? And then go back up. That would be this impulse. So it could drop more. I think we're going to break this low for sure because we were almost there. And it's a sell setup. But we need to break this low here first. So let's see if we can drop and break that low. Go to the 1 hour, take the sell. And that would be the end of the consolidation. I think you have a good sell setup. It would be better for us if it comes and retests this top. So you want this to come here, go retest the top, and then drop. Because we never retest the top of the first impulse. So you got to be careful. If you're putting an entry order here, you have to put it slightly under this low, at least 1 or 2 spread under the low, just because it is more likely a contracting flat. If not, then it will become a running flat. Tag you here. Should it tag you and stay there long, take it off. Because you don't want the running flat. It will go back up and then you'll sell it from the top. I mean, we have done that many times. Close, re-enter, right? Then if it goes up, you get a chance of making a better trade. But the sell setup, all of them sell setup. CAD still a buy. We actually broke the top, but it looks like they can go one more. So this whole pattern, once it's here, we start buying this to go break the top. I think that was the easiest trade we had, and I keep insisting to buy the CAD until it breaks that up. So CAD in the big picture is like this. Right? This is what we have. Now, this is really sharp. The whole big correction was this. This is the whole big correction in reality, right? If you look at it that way. But because this was a perfect flat of its own, I decided, let's see how this is developing. Can it be separate pieces of its own, right? Like, can we put this piece separate and put this one with this piece separate? Which means if we we're going to put it separate, this needs to come back here, make this flat, and then go back up one more and then come down. So the downside for this would have to be like this. Go back up one more there. Go back up one more, break the tops. It needs to break this top, right? Now, can we make an assumption that this here is the top, that this here is the top of it, and all this is consolidation? Because we haven't broken this top, right? If you put the line here, we haven't broken that top, see? Can we make an argument for this being the top of it, and all of this is consolidation for one more down here? I doubt it. This is huge consolidation. And the move is coming this way. So there's a very likelihood this is going to go break the top before we come back down. So we don't need to break this top. There's no need to break that top. If you go back to the weekly, you'll see that there's absolutely no need to break that top, right? Because this here is very, very, very corrective. You could make the assumption that this is 1, 2, 3, and that was the assumption we made, but this starts going really, really slow. So the assumption I'm making is that this is a correction. We know that's a correction. And this is a correction. So this one is going to come here, maybe close, very close to the top, come back to the bottom. All of this becomes one huge flat, more like a W, X, Y, X, Z pattern. This is the impulse into it, and we'll go back that way. So these two are impulses. So if that's the case, you end up with this being a running flat. So it goes 1, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. This will have to go back up one more. So this stops here. It will have to go back up. You're looking for something like this. This should be the up move. This should be the down move. And then you get one more up move, the equivalent of this. Back to the top. Now, this is like a 20-year forecast because I'm on the weekly. So don't worry with that. But so that you have the idea that a 5-minute pattern and a 20-year pattern is going to look exactly the same way, right? It's exactly the same things you're looking for in the pattern. Now, I think if we look at all these pieces in this move, if you look at this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, I think this is the most corrective of them. So it's rare that this is the one that is going to be the impulse at the top, simply because it's the most corrective pattern you have, right? There are more corrections in it, more clusters. So I don't think that is the impulse. Well, let's see what happens. Now that we broke this top, is it ready for the downside? Go back to the 1 hour. Yeah, it came down not as much as I would expected. It didn't drop. We were looking for 1, 2, 3, and then go up, but that didn't happen. And I still think we did get a little pullback in here, but not as much as this, and we're still within this one. So there's a good chance that even if you go there, you come back here and then go. All of this would still be correction. Sorry, let me just erase that. Even if this goes here, it could come back here and then go. So I don't think you want to take this buy because remember we broke that top already. If it comes back to the bottom here, then start to go, you can buy this one here from here. That would be a better buy. So although I think it will go break the top again, I don't think the buy is a good idea right now. Swiss. Well, the Swiss buy would have been buying this flag, but that's a break-even trade. That is buying this one. That's a break-even trade. You're getting another buy setup. You can take that trade. Might be a break-even trade also because there are too many consolidations here. You don't want so many. You want it to take off now. So if this is gonna go, it has to take off, right? Because we were expecting this to happen. Right? We were expecting this once we break this low to go out of this structure completely. If it keeps going very slow, it means it's gonna come here and drop again. So you start looking at this on the 1 hour. And if this starts to look just like this, it's going to drop again. So this time, I think all of you remember we bought that and we thought this was going to go because we had broke the low here already. But that one didn't go. Well, okay, no problem. You got out of the trade for positive. Do the same thing here. But this has to go. Why does it keep retracing every time? I don't know what's wrong with that. So this has to go. Because if this starts to go slow like this, again, you would assume they're doing this and they're going to drop one more and then go. But you will get out of this trade for positive. I think that's the easiest trade to get out for positive. Put the entry order about 2 or 3 pips above the top, and that's a good trade. Yen. You can go with the yen buy. We're trying to buy this. I would call that a break-even trade because I'm on the 1 hour and there's a lot of hours here that they didn't go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hours to close the trade. I think in 6 hours, you have to make the decision. If you can't make a decision in 6 hours, don't trade the 1 hour. Probably go to the 4 hours. And some traders trade the 5 minutes, where you have only an hour or less to make a decision, right? Sometimes you got less than 15 minutes to make a decision in the 5 minutes. So I think it's still consolidation for upside. Although that one didn't take off. This still looks like consolidation. But the more it consolidates here, coming back to this, it's just gonna do this and drop. Now, can it do that and drop a lot? So let's go back to the bigger picture to see if there's a lot of downside in this. Yeah, it could. That could be. I wouldn't be surprised if actually this, kind of work its way down here, go back there and then drop. Now we still don't have anything for this. So there's a good chance that this goes up, which means if it goes up now, you buy it. But if it comes lower, you take the trade off. Is it a buy setup? You can make an argument for that. Put an entry above this stop. Above the last impulse. A few pips above the last impulse. If this consolidates here, well, I don't think this sell here is a good idea if this consolidates here. Because this sell is only going to be one more drop. And then the upside. But a buy would be a good idea. Euros. Okay, Euro is making a flag here. That would be a sell. If they consolidate here, eventually it's a buy, right? It's a flat for upside. If this kind of consolidates here, come back here, you get a flat for upside. But right now, if it drops, sell it. Because in the big picture, you need to correct this move. We need to correct this move here. A deeper correction, something like this, and maybe even deeper for the upside, right? I think we take the sell because the possibility that this could be a 1, 2, 3, and this coming back here before they go. The whole picture is upside, right? We agree with that. We know that it's going to go, but I don't think this is the one. If it consolidates here, then this is the one going. So I think the last time I was here, we broke out and I said, don't buy it here now. Wait for a flat to buy. It's either making the flat now or you're going down. So either you make that huge flat here now and it's a buy, or it starts dropping, you better sell it. So right now, this is why is this thing? It's drawing on its own. I don't know why that is. So yeah, this here now is a sell setup. If it goes anywhere higher into this, let it come back here and buy. And that's pretty easy. So go back to the 1 hour and go with the sell. You're in New Zealand. Okay, you've got a flat. It's going up, not exactly how I'd like it to go, but it's going slow. So we were expecting a pullback here because, sorry, we were expecting a pullback here because you had this impulse. You had this one, so that pullback happened, but this is not going anywhere. So we're still consolidating. I wanted to see what the big picture looks like. Yep, we never got this one down. So the same thing with the euros. I don't know if we're going to get this one down. That actually takes off. So we'll have to relook at this pattern. I think it's really, really strange because this definitely looks like the most corrective of them. All right, so I was thinking 1, 2, 3, go back up for this one, come down here and then go. Well, it takes off. At this point, if you break that up, this consolidation is over. So we'll have to relook at it to see, how we put it, how we put the structure. Okay, this becomes more like a 1, 2, 3, and how this part fits into that, I'm not sure. We'll have to figure that out afterwards. It seems like some kind of an incomplete pattern. I don't think we're missing anything there. So this is about to break that up. Once it breaks it up, you start looking to see if you have divergence, and I think we do. We do have divergence from this point. So once it breaks that up, you'll have to be careful. We might be going to break this top here on the bigger picture. And the bigger picture, this could go up and break this top. So if you break the top, make a consolidation, go for the trade. Go back to the 1 hour. You don't have to buy it exactly the top, but if it makes a real nice consolidation, we were buying from here going up, right? But at this point here, if it makes a nice consolidation, you can buy. I probably wouldn't buy this piece yet, although we have this flat here already. This is another one, smaller version. I think this buy here might too much flats in it. Let it pull back and then go. Wait for a pullback in it. If it pull back, we'll put it with this one. So wait for a pullback like this and then go for the buy. EuroCAD. We broke the top. So let's look for the sell setup now. Let's see if we have anything here that has a sell setup in it. Nope, not really. There was a flat here. You could be making another flat here. It's in a 1 hour, it looks like. You got a 1, 2, 3. You can make argument for a 1, 2, 3. This is a smaller version. This is small. This is a buy setup here, but it's a short-term trade. Go for one more impulse only. Assume that it's going to do this. See, all these impulses are the same size here. See that one? This is the downside, then this is the upside, and this could do the same thing. So assume that if you get a buy setup here, it's only to do that before it drops. So it's a small trade to the upside, but then you'll be looking for the downside. Euro Swiss, you got a good buy setup here. Yep, that's a good buy setup. Let's see in the 4 hour where it's going. Nowhere specifically because all the waves are sharp in here, so you'll have to wait for more confirmation, but it's a buy setup. It's actually a very good one too. Europong. Okay, if you took the buy, you did well, but you would have closed that trade already. Wait for another pullback here and then take this one. Let it make a consolidation here. There's not enough consolidation there, but that would be a buy setup. The bigger picture as of now is still downside until this takes off, right? So let's see. If this consolidate here in the 1 hour buy, you don't have a console. You have a single pullback here for now. You have this pullback. So if this does something like this and then go there and come back here, this would be a nice buy setup. And euro yen. All the yen pairs have these that impulse and a correction forming here. So there's at least one more impulse up. See if you can get it. If it comes back too deep to the bottom again, just ignore it. So for all the pound pairs, Aussie pairs, New Zealand pairs, cat pairs, we will do that in the trading room. But for YouTube, we're gonna do the majors, and I give you those. We'll do some more of these. We'll do some of these indices and some of the stocks we have here, and then we're gonna do Bitcoin for YouTube viewers, right? So I don't want to make the YouTube video too long. I want to make it really short. So this here was not a buy. This was a buy for this flag here. But if it came beyond that, well, by all means, you should take it off. You shouldn't be in that buy. Right? Now that it came here, you still have a buy setup. This is the buy setup now. Again, if this goes lower, take it off. Right now, it can go lower than here. It has to go from this point. So if this is going to go, you have to put a line here to say anywhere below this, close the trade. Close the buy setup. What would be the buy setup? The buy setup is making a move back up to the top like this. Right? We're still in a huge consolidation. Take this out. This was the sell. And this was the sell. Take those out. So we're looking for a buy setup here. Now you want this one to repeat this move. You want it to actually do this. And then maybe downside. So this is the trade you're looking for. Let's see if we can get that. Should it go anywhere lower? Leave it for now. Yes, oil. Oil is the same thing. We're consolidating here. It could go lower. I'm expecting it to go up because this is a sharp move into it. But we don't have any buy setup. There isn't really a good sell setup either because this is consolidating. So let's wait to that. US 30. Okay, this didn't come lower. It just stopped there. Well, any pullback buy. If it pulls back here, go for a running flat and go for at least one more up. And then we'll see. What's the big picture in it? You could still make an argument for a running flat like this. I could still make an argument for that running flat. So look for buy setup here. If it pull back, go with the buy. In 50 minutes, if this should pull back and give you a running flat with this one, go for the buy setup. There's a flag here in the 15-minute, but be cautious with it, right? Because this could do this, but then come right back here and then go, making this the 15-minute flat. So if you're going to buy this here, once it doesn't go, stick to the 15 minutes. If it's not moving, it's not going as fast as you would like it to go, take it off. S&P 500, same thing. Well, don't buy this. Okay, this one actually came back to the bottom here. So you want this at some point to stop, come back here, go back there, complete this flat, and then drop. Now, whether you can trade this to the downside and that to the upside would be good. But buying this here now, you got to be cautious. I wouldn't buy it because of this pullback. I'd rather buy the US 30. And NASDAQ, same thing. This one pulled back pretty deep here. I probably would let it, let this drop happen. Kind of make that drop and then go back up. Give you this one. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. All right, so look for sell setups here. On the bigger picture on S&P 500 and NASDAQ, you have sell setups forming. Bigger sell setups in the 1 hour or 4 hours. So what you're getting is a consolidation here, like this consolidation, right? More like this. We're getting is a consolidation forming here. So this has to come here, go back there, and then drop. And let's see. Okay, this needs one more pullback and then you can, one or two more pullback and then you can buy. So probably not take this trade down, but anyway, up back here you can buy, maybe drop again and then go. Something like this. But if you get a sell setup here, that's worth it. You can trade that, right? That's a tradable one. Okay, I think all of this we'll do. I'll just do DAX and then we'll do the rest in the trading room because there's no point going further. DAX is just going. So, like I said, we might repeat this last week. I think I told you guys we might repeat this movement down. It looks like they're doing that. You can make an argument that this is going to go one more down here to break this low. And then all of this becomes one huge flat. So if you get a sell setup here, go with it just to break this low, not drop a lot. So keep your eyes out here for a sell setup. And this looks like a reversal. We don't know if it's a reversal, but it looks so. If they're reversing, they'll make a flag here and then go up. But should it drop here, make a flag, just ignore it. Sell the DAX. Okay, guys, let's do a few of these. Bitcoin up still. Yeah, it looks like we're going to break out. So Bitcoin is still going up. Like I said, once it breaks that low, you start looking for buy setups. And if you did that, you're doing good. You still had buy setups. This was still a buy setup. You still had a buy setup. You had another flag here for a buy setup, this smaller one. And now you're going to be really careful. If you're in the buy, you need to put an entry order to sell here or an entry order to sell somewhere here. Because if this is going to retest the low, and that is possible, we can't exclude that. We're still in this consolidation, right? We're still in this consolidation. And because some of these moves are pretty sharp, take this for example. You have 1, 2, 3. This one has 1, 2, 3. All right, so those are relatively sharp moves. Now you can make an argument for, if you put it like this, that this is 1, that is 2, this is 3, this is 4, this is 5, and then this is going to go. Okay, I'll go with that. But if you're making an argument that it could be more complex than that, then this one is going to come back here, which means you get 1, 2, 3. You get 1, 2, 3. You get 1, 2, 3, and then go back up. Also possible, right? Those are two patterns that are very, very valid. So which one is it? Is it going upside? Well, you don't need to know that, right? Remember, once it breaks the low, you start buying. Now that you're at the top, you're going to buy with caution. You can still buy, but with a lot of caution. But should it break out of the top and start making corrections, you can go with it. So take this, for example. Should this pull back to the bottom here and go back there and then come back here, this would be a perfect buy setup. If you get that pattern, put an entry here, put a stop here, and see if this takes off. Right, that will give an advantage to get out for break even because that pattern will definitely break the top. So right now, because it's at the top of the pattern, and if you're already in the buy from the bottom, great, just move your stop. If you're not, and then don't buy at the top here. Okay, so ETH, we're expecting it to go up a little more. I expect this to come back and retest the stop, so that's good. If you're in the buy setup, if you took this buy, it's okay. Oh, come on, don't do that. If you took this buy, that's okay. If you get any buy setup here to this top, that's okay. I'm expecting this move up and then come back here. So this is like 1, 2, 3. And the reason I'm expecting it to come back is because this is the top. Right? So this one didn't break the top. So whatever is happening here is more like a huge flat for one more down, and then the downside could still be in a number of waves. So we'll see. But this is a good buy setup. Any flag you get buy. XRP, buy setup. Actually, XRP, you're getting a much bigger buy setup here. We were getting some small buys from the bottom coming. But this is consolidating here. So this at some point, kind of do this, break out, come back here, and then go. Why it's doing this? Give me 1 second. So this should come here, not so deep. Come here, go back there, come back here, complete this pattern, and then go. Now, is there more upside into it? Absolutely. Here's what you can do. You can wait for that pattern to confirm itself, right? Wait for this to confirm. It's more like this. See this flat here. Why is this thing? Sorry, guys. I just pull it. It's not supposed to draw, but it kept drawing. Like this here, something like that. Get that here, right? Let this finish itself here. And then that's an upside. Remember, we broke the low here. So how high is going to go? We go pretty high because we already have 1, 2, 3. And this line was here to come and break that low before the upside start. That is why we start buying from here. And if you do that, that's good. Now, can we break this up? I think so. Maybe we don't, but I think it could go break the top. If we don't, then we're going to go with this more like a 1, 2, 3. This one is going to come here and come back here before they go. Right? But I think this one could take off. So if you can buy some more, right? ADA upside too. You're actually getting a nice flat here. So either you get a flag in here or in the breakout, you get a flag. I think this one is a little strange because I'm expecting this one to come back here, but we don't have a sell setup. And then I probably wouldn't take that buy there because that's not a clear buy setup. So I'll probably wait on this one. Dash. Okay, I'm going to do 2 more because there are 3 more because I know the ones our traders trade. This is the buy setup. I think this is easy. Once you broke the low, right? When it's at the top there and we're coming to break the low, traders were a little thing, right? But once you break that low, the buy is an easy deal. And you might get a buy setup here. I think this could have been a nice buy. If you bought this, that's a good idea. Right? If not, let it go there. See if it comes back here and buy again. If not, if this keeps going, just keep buying any flag you get. Okay, let's do these last 2. I think these are more popular the traders use, but if not, you'll tell me which one you want in the trading room. So I'm looking at this as a running flat. That's the equivalent of this. Okay, I think we might not, we will have to go with this is the running flat, which means that this can drop. You want to see if this is making some kind of a correction here to drop. It's not the best sell setup. You don't have a buy setup in it. So you let it come, retest this low, and then look for a buy. And this one. This looks upside. Although we wanted to break the low first. So the forecast we made when this started to fall is coming to break the low. I think we're going to get the break of the low, even if this goes up. It's going to be like this. And even if this goes up here, it will just break the top and go down back. So go to the 1 hour and let's see. There's a buy set up here this morning if anybody take it, and that would be to break this top. And then from there, we'll see if it drops 1 more. So there's a short-term buy setup there. And then when it breaks that top, you get it in the positive and see if it's active, or take profit and then wait for another flag, or see if it's going to break down to the downside. The downside is still possible. We haven't broken the low itself. 1 more drop, break the low, like XRP broke the low. So that's a good buy setup. I think 2 or 3 broke the low. Some of them didn't break the lows yet. This one didn't break the low. It needs to go just a little more. 1 drop more, break the low, and then upside. So, okay, guys, for the YouTube viewers, if you like what I do, leave a comment. You can send me a message on Skype if you want. You can click a like, watch the video, share the video. The 1 week free will most likely be next week, but I'll keep you guys updated on that. If not, my apologies. I know I'm promising it, but it's all about timing, right? Where I can get the time. There's a lot of stuff going on here while I'm in Moscow. I don't want to put the whole thing out on YouTube, but I'm on vacation and there's also a lot of stuff happening. So beside that, let's see. I'll try my best to see if I can make it next week for you guys. Thanks a lot. Thanks for your support. I would see all my YouTube viewers and we'll continue the trading. Thank you very much. Bye.